You are listening to Museek's Behind the Musos.
Hi, I'm Maisie. I'm a Brisbane based pop artist, and this is my song, I Know Places.
Capturing the mood makes you stay a while, and she leaves before dawn. Soon you're wanting more.
Hey guys, welcome back to Behind the Muso. I'm your host, Josh, and I'm joined by my co-host, Will and Maisie. Welcome, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, very good. So, let's get right into this. I was about to say straight and right at the same time, but that's all right. So, you have one single out now, I Know Places. How do you feel about it since its release?
Really good about it, actually. It was my first sort of attempt at putting something out, and everything went pretty smoothly. I didn't really have any expectations, I was kind of just wanting to put my name out there. And the response was actually really good. So I think we hit 3,000 streams yesterday.
Awesome.
And it's been played in around 50 countries, which is crazy. And everyone that's listened to it said they liked it. So I hope they're being honest.
Yeah, well, I loved it as well, that's for sure.
Thank you.
And it's so amazing that you hit 3,000 streams over 50 countries, and for your first release as well. That is incredible.
That's awesome.
So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
So I want to ask about your release schedule and about that release. Did you feel any particular pressures when you were releasing it? And how does that schedule work, I suppose?
The only pressure I would say was pressure I gave myself I promised myself at the beginning of the year that I would release something, by the end. And halfway through the year, I still didn't have something that I was happy with. But my song was actually for an assignment at uni, and my teachers really loved it. So they said, it's radio ready, fix a couple things and put it up. And I kind of just didn't want to pick at it too much. Otherwise, I would have never released it. So I tried to just do it as quickly as possible. I think I polished it off and took all those promotional photos in about a month or maybe 3 weeks. And I did all of that myself. I just kind of wanted to keep it simple. If it's my first release, I don't want to, invest so much time and money into it just to see it flop. So it was all right. It was pretty smooth.
And for future releases, what aspects of that will you take into those? And is there anything that you wouldn't bother doing?
I think everything I did was good. I'd probably add a bit more. I would get more critiques from other people, getting more feedback, probably spend a bit more time on doing promotional stuff. I just didn't see the point in doing 2 weeks worth of promo for people that didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? So I just kind of wanted to just do it over a week. And if people like me, they can listen to it. I would probably, for my next song, do probably a month to 2 weeks of promotional stuff beforehand, I think.
Awesome. So how does the songwriting process work for you? Do you reckon you could take us through that, what that would look like?
Yeah. Well, it's different for every song I've written, I think. It all depends on where my head is at that point in time. But with I Know Places, I just wanted to write a song. I didn't have anything on my mind to write about. So it kind of started with the instrumental. And I started with the bass line, and I just really, really liked it. And it just kind of flowed from there. The first line of the song came to me when I just wrote that bass line. I had it on a loop and I was just listening to it over and over again. And then the first line came, and to me, the bass sound that I was using sounded way too feminine to be about a guy. And then it sounded way too, it didn't sound happy, it didn't sound sad. So the words kind of followed from that. And it was probably the quickest song that I've ever written, actually.
Awesome. And so we've interviewed quite a number of artists now, and it's quite unique, even amongst them, that we have someone who is studying music at university as well. So you mentioned that this song was for an assignment. How do you feel that played into the creative process? Were there any additional pressures there? Did you feel maybe stifled by it having to be for a university assignment? Or did everything still flow perfectly natural?
I think it actually helped because the assignment was based on production, and my teachers really helped me, and I had like a first draft of the song, which isn't obviously what I released. And after I showed it to them, they told me to change like a couple things, and they were, completely right with it. And as soon as I, nitpicked those things, it sounded so much better. And I think if I didn't have it for that assignment, it probably wouldn't sound like it does. And I probably wouldn't have released it. I wouldn't have felt comfortable with this, like without someone's support, so I think it actually helped me.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds really good. It's so good to have a group of individuals who can be around there and support you. And since they were teachers, obviously they're not your close friends and family, so they have that ability to give you just transparent advice
objective.
Without feeling, is like, should I give her honest advice? Should I, sweeten it up a little bit? It's just straight facts.
Yeah.
And from there, you created such a masterpiece. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So I guess looking at your song from an idea to its end product, what would you say your favorite part of the production was? Is it writing the music? Is it then mixing it? Or is it the final product? What is the best for you?
My favorite part is adding all of the vocal layers together and doing harmonies. I think that's just so fun, and watching it make a song become so much more fuller. If you just have like the one lead track, it just kind of sounds a bit empty. But as soon as you start adding so many different harmonies and different layers of vocals, it just transforms the whole song for me. So that's what I had the most fun with this song. And it's pretty much like there's maybe 5 tracks of instruments and the rest is all vocal layering. So it was what I had the most fun with, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to touch back on what you said about the promotional material, the photo shoot and things that you did. You mentioned you did it yourself, but what was all of that behind the scenes work like? You spent a week promoting the song, you had some photos taken, but take us through that process. How did that look for you?
Yeah. Well, I had to. A week is how, like, the week of the photos and like posting it, that all took a week. But prior to that, I had to draw up the cover art, which, I had so many different ideas, but I ended on the one, and then I sent it off to my friend who is a really talented digital artist, and she rendered that all up for me. And that took her about 3 days, I think, to get that. And then she did so many more things. She did little stickers and stuff to put on Instagram stories, which is really cool. And it took her a lot of time and effort. The photos, they took a bit to edit as well, to try and make them the perfect sort of size for Spotify and whatnot. And then you had to upload your song to a distributor, and that took about a month for them to finally upload it. And I set the date for 1st of December. So considering all of that time, it probably would have been about a month. But the actual showing, posting on Instagram, that would have been only a week.
Yeah, of course. And, I feel like sometimes people don't understand how long it takes to, do everything for a song, from cover art to promotional shoots to even just distributing music. That's months ahead. And, it's just interesting to see everyone's process. So, what obstacles did you face when writing this track? I know you touched on before, sometimes you can get in your own head. This was obviously for an assignment, so there was a due date, so you had to at least submit something. What other obstacles did you face, and how did you deal with them?
The obstacles I faced, I think, were for probably 2 weeks, I was stuck on the same sort of sound, and I just could tell that there was something missing. And I just couldn't pick what it was. And then I think probably 20 minutes before I had to go hand in the assignment, I was in the studio recording the background vocals, because that's just what it needed in that moment. And it just made the song sound so much better after I did that. And I think I struggled a bit with mixing it, because obviously I did everything myself and I'm still learning, but mixing the drums was a little difficult for me, because I don't play drums. I don't really know much about them. But I think after listening to feedback and stuff, and I kind of made them sound, I think, all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And what direction do you intend to take with your music in the future? Are there new sounds or instruments that you'd like to use? You know, other things maybe that you like the drums that you don't play but you can utilize in your music. So,
Yeah, of
is there a
course.
specific direction that you'd like to take?
Yeah, I listen to so many different types of music, so it's been a little bit of a struggle to kind of figure out what sound I want to keep with. It's really fun to do electronic stuff and I can do all of that on my own, but I love rock music and I wish I could, do that all myself, but I can't. I would have to like bring in a few musicians to help me with that. And then you're kind of relying on everyone else's schedule and whatnot. But I do hope in the future that I can make maybe more of like a soft rock song with live instruments.
That sounds awesome. That's such a good idea. So you had a plan to release a song within 2021. What does your goal look like for the end of 2022? What is something that you'd like to achieve with your music?
I hope to do a live performance by the end of the year as MAISIE, and I hope that I can release another couple songs this year as well. I have a couple in the works at the moment, but I haven't put a time limit on them yet because I don't want to stress myself out. But hopefully one by the end of May, hopefully. That's the time I'm giving myself.
Well, fingers crossed that all works out for you. Well, thank you very much, Gemma. That brings us back to the end of the main part of the interview. Why don't you let the listeners know where can people find you and how can they stay up to date with your future releases?
You can find me on Spotify under the artist name MAISIE, MAISIE. And you can find me on Instagram under my real name, Gemma Lindsay. I'm the most active on Instagram, so.
Lovely.
Well,
right.
Thank you so much, Gemma. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Follow us on your favourite podcasting platform to never miss another episode. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Museek.app for all the latest updates and constant music recommendations. Be sure to head over to our website, museekdiscovery.com, to find our track of the week, curated playlist, blogs, and so much more.